It turns out, according to the Gray Zone, top pro-Israel Turning Point USA donor terminated support for Charlie Kirk just days before his death.
Oh.
Colin.
Well, isn't that a coinky-dink?
Just to say, no, it's strictly a coinky-dink. Please pull up the article, Colin. Top pro-Israel TPUSA donor terminated support for Kirk in days before his death. Ultra, not Zionist, not super Zionist, but ultra Zionist.
That's like, you know what? That's like how they label like feminine products, like women's tampons and stuff. It's like you've got super, you've got ultra. Like that's just, he must be. I mean, what's next? Mega, Uber.
If you want to go to the top of the food chain, Robert Shillman. What a perfect name, too.
Oh, it is.
Was one of Charlie Kirk's most committed donors. But as Kirk fell under attack for his increasingly critical Israel views during his final weeks, sources say Shillman ended funding for TPUSA.
Very interesting.
As his campus tour approached, Kirk was subjected to an almost daily lobbying campaign from Milikowski's allies. The Turning Point USA campus in Phoenix, Arizona, is the house that Charlie Kirk built, consisting of 6 sterile 2-floor office buildings. The campus is itself a tribute to the ultra-wealthy donors who placed the 31-year-old Kirk at the helm of a political empire whose combined annual assets exceeded the municipal budget of a typical small American city. You want to talk about serious fucking money? I mean, my understanding is that the Turning Point USA machine was being funded to the tune of $80 million a year. That's the type of money we're talking about.
And people don't think they would expect anything for that, right? Like that's just out of the kindness of their heart. They don't get anything in return for that because they're just, these are very benevolent oligarchs, right? They're just doing that because it matters to that, their soul. It helps them. Yeah.
Remember when we're dealing with people, remember when we were dealing with certain city council members in places like Hollywood who were taking the dirty developer money and claiming that they don't own me. I just happen to like a lot of expensive development that doesn't serve the community.
Yeah.
I'm not affected by that money. Of course not. At the front of the TPUSA complex is the Bill and Rebecca Dunn Freedom Center, named for the late commodity trader, Bill Dunn. Adjacent buildings feature plaques commemorating the mega donors who have fueled the rise of the conservative movement. No, it's only because Charlie is just this great orator that everybody wanted to give him money. It had nothing to do with billionaire Zionist money.
It's the same thing as if there were a mega church. It's all the same shit. It's their shrine to themselves and a way for them to not pay taxes.
Of course.
That's all this is. And you get a cult following in the process. It's all the same thing. That's why there is such a strong connection between the evangelicals in this. Like it's all the same.
From the Uline family to the Koch brothers, you know, the guys that got Charlie Kirk off the ground in the first place, to evangelical Christian asset manager Foster Friess. You can imagine how much money that guy makes. Catty corner from the Freedom Center is the Pearson Building. According to the TPUSA Insider, this structure to be emblazoned with the name of one of Kirk's largest, most committed backers, the tech mogul Robert Shillman. A preeminent funder of right-wing Zionist and anti-Muslim causes across the Atlantic, Shillman's millions helped transform Kirk from a young age into one of Israel's most effective Gentile assets. However, as Kirk drifted from the official Bibi enforced line of Israel in the past year, expressing frustration with onerous demands from Zionist donors and hosting the leading conservative critics of Israel at his TPUSA events like Dave Smith, Shillman apparently grew resentful. TPUSA Insider has told the Gray Zone that Shulman recently canceled plans to erect the plaque bearing his name inside the conservative organization's office complex. Those who contribute 1 million or more to TPUSA become eligible for an honorary plaque.
An honorary plaque? Let me tell you something. And I know this because there's people in my husband's family that they're plaque people. They like when they give big money to have their name on shit.
Circumstance.
They love having their name on shit, plaques, and buildings, you name it. They love it. They are so pleased with themselves. It's like a pat on the back.
But Shulman's donations were said to be considerably higher than that. I'm sure they were. Few donors have done more than Shulman to fuel the influence of the Zionist movement's anti-Muslim pro-Likud wing inside the U.S. With this pen and a checkbook, I provide ammunition, the billionaire proclaimed during a gala of the right-wing Zionist Organization of America in 2021.
With this pen and a checkbook, I provide ammunition. What a fucking piece of shit.
Colin, let's take a brief detour. We're going to pull the story. We will conclude it. But now you're going to see exactly what this dickwad had to say.
Okay. There are those who use the pen, who by their writings support those who do the actual fighting.
You do the actual fighting.
What a small man. You're a very small little man. Is that Mr. Shulman?
Oh, could it be more obvious?
Oh my goodness. Why do they all look like they all look like Dr. Evil. Like they're all ridiculous. They're so like all of these people.
The audacity to suggest that the real fighters are the ones with the fountain pens is a certain level of cope and overcompensation, if I've ever seen it.
Oh, but that's all these people. Again, their entire existence is about getting other people in their little vicinity to pat them on the back and have the biggest gala and the biggest function and have your name on the biggest building. And it's all penis competition. That's what it is. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Small penis, if I might add.
I'd like to be on the front line, wielding a sword in this battle, but that wasn't meant to be. So instead, I wield a pen.
Oh.
I'm a writer. Now, most of you don't know that, but for the past 20 years, I've written one book each year. Now, none of my books have made it to Amazon Top 10, and certainly not to the New York Times bestsellers list.
Maybe your writing sucks. Maybe you pay somebody to write it for you.
I'm surprised you can't pay the New York Times to put it on the bestseller list.
And could you be more of a liberal Zionazi than to say, maybe those of you don't actually know this, but I've written a book every year for the past 20 years. The self-congratulatory pomp and circumstance.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Zio billionaire liberal class. Love it. Wouldn't do it any other way.
The book that I just finished writing this year is entitled 2019. It's a checkbook. With this pen and my checkbook, I provide ammunition.
This person is proud of being a mass murderer.
Well, this is the Zionists of America. He's speaking to the Zionists of America, right? That's what it is, Zionist something of America.
So this is just another NGO of the Israel lobby, basically?
Right. Yeah, no, these are all like tax havens. That's all this is. It's for money laundering, tax havens, and the weapons manufacturers. This is what they do. It's nothing.
I wield a pen to provide ammunition to those organizations like ZOA who are on the front lines in this battle. In this battle confronting the enemies of Israel and the Jewish people, and defending them against the attacks of the Islamists who wish to destroy Israel and the radical leftists and Jew haters who seek to eliminate the Jewish people everywhere.
Oh my God, I'm so scared. They're trying to eliminate Jewish people everywhere. Do the Semites know this? Because the Semites are good with the Jews. So have you told the Semites that like this guy doesn't even know that he's not a Semite?
This fucking guy is all I got.
This fucking guy. That's what Pirate Justin said.
So I want to thank you, all of you, both the fighters in this room and the people who support them. And
would you like to guess what Cognex Corporation does? Actually, you know what? While we're chatting, let's see what Cognex Corporation actually does. Let's see. The world's leading provider of AI machine visual solutions for industrial automation. So he's not only a genocider, he's also an environmental destroyer in the process.
Well, and he's most likely also attached to the military-industrial complex. So he's not only supportive of genocide, he profits off of genocide, right? So it's a double whammy there. Yeah.
I urge you to continue to use your pen to support the ZOA so that it can continue to fight its mission on the front lines for battling for Israel and for the Jewish people. Thank you very much.
1897, the significance of 1897 probably has to do with around the beginning of the official Zionist project. Somebody could look it up, but what it would mean is that organization is citing that as its beginning. So Zion, whenever they started talking about that issue in America is probably what that date is. According
to Low Key and his tweet, Robert Shillman directly funds Tommy Robinson, the white nationalist in the UK that had that big rally that he so proudly put on with his fellow Zion-Nazis and got the support and the pat on the back from Elon Musk in the process as well. Yes, it is a billionaire shell game, and that's how this works. Here he is being honored at the Zionist Organization of America, comparing his pen to a weapon. No, he said his pen is the strongest weapon. That's overcompensation if they're
he's compensating. But, you know, it's interesting. And for people who aren't really seeing the connection, when we would talk about things like the connection between Nazism and Zionism and the interconnectedness of that, and we'll get more into that regarding, you know, what's going on with Argentina, but there is a very strong link between Nazism and Zionism. So what I find very unsettling are the amount of Zionists that are very most likely righteous Jewish people. So they, you know, they're the good Jews and I'm the self-loathing Jew. And yet they have no problem with somebody who is one of theirs funding bigots and Nazis somewhere else. That's what this guy is. So this guy, he's a Zionist, but he literally is also supporting Nazis.
Make it make sense.
It does make sense because they are the same. They are the same. Zionists are Nazis. They're an expansion of Nazis. First of all, they believe they're a superior race, and they believe that they are entitled to dominate that entire region, and they want to ethnically cleanse the less desirables. What am I missing?
He also funds the Friends of the IDF, another NGO, and organizations that build illegal settlements in the West Bank. Of course. Scroll, Colin, please. Besides nurturing the career of Kirk, Shillman has sponsored the David Horowitz Freedom Center, named for the neocon operative who Kirk describes as his mentor. Anti-Islam activists from Frank Gaffney to the English hooligan, good word, Max, Tommy Robinson, to Dutch politician Geert Wilders, and Canada's rebel media have benefited from Shillman's support as well. Shillman has also invested substantially in the career of Laura Loomer, a former rebel media personality and fanatically anti-Palestinian provocateur who enjoys direct access to Trump and members of the
Sorry.
Would you like to take a crack at this?
Sorry. No. I just, you said her name and oh, that woman.
Weeks before the TPUSA founders' killing, Loomer blasted Kirk for his inconsistent support for Israel. She was especially piqued by Kirk's platforming of Tucker Carlson, who she branded as an uppity, waspy snob who serves as a mouthpiece for Iran and Qatar. Well, he is a waspy snob. I'm not going to say he's not. But
who, Tucker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a waspy snob. But Loomer, you're a disgusting hoe. You're disgusting. It's so clear that you don't like yourself. And no matter how much surgery you have, you will never fix the fact that you're a psychotic cunt. And that, unfortunately, is what everyone sees more than your mangled jigsaw face.
Actually, Alan, she's 32 and she looks 53.
She is not 53. I am 54. She is 32. No.
Pretty sick.
Well, you know what? Maybe she's fucking this guy. Who knows?
If it pays. Charlie speaks out of both sides of his mouth. His messaging is all over the place. And some of us just don't want to know where some of us just want to know where he stands. This is on July 12th, mind you. She went on a call to call Kirk a political opportunist and a charlatan who stabbed Trump in the back by hosting Dave Smith, an anti-Zionist Jewish podcaster and comedian at a TPUSA event. Remember, he was warned not to platform Dave Smith at this Turning Point USA event, and he did it anyway. To me, if you're looking for the red herring, that was a big one. Very big one. Loomer did not deny Shulman had cut off funding to TPUSA, pleading ignorance in response to a direct question from this reporter about her longtime benefactor's decision.
Benefactor? You mean like sugar daddy? It's like, let me tell you something. Okay. I had a friend in college and her mom always said this thing about ducks, right? But if it talks like a whore and it walks like a whore, it's a whore. Just saying.
The Gray Zone was informed that Shulman announced his termination of contributions to TPUSA during a private dinner of another organization he funds, the American Freedom Alliance. According to an attendee at the event, which was held in Los Angeles on September 6th, Shulman stated that he would be ending his donations to Kirk, diverting them instead to reliably pro-Likud anti-Islam groups like AFA.
And that's really what this is about. And this is where the Nazis and the Zios become one. Because at the end of the day, they don't like Muslims. They don't like brown people in general. They don't like brown people. Like, it would blow their mind if they knew there were actually white Muslims, but let's not tell them that. But at the end of the day, this is a white supremacy situation. And Zionists are every bit the white supremacists that the Nazis are. And that's a really common ground. That's some very common ground that they share. So I find it fascinating. Anybody who's like secular Jews that are Zionists and you just somehow fancy yourself somebody who gives a shit about your people and whatever, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're supporting. You're supporting Nazis, literal Nazis. Just unbelievable.
And they'll all be on their way to Buenos Aires very soon.
Oh,
The AFA's homepage is currently promoting a $250,000 matching fund donation from an unnamed donor directly below a tribute to Kirk. A photo shows Kirk speaking from the dais of a past AFA event. The tribute links to a eulogy which blames the left's consistent drumbeat of hate, of misrepresentation, of fomenting violence against us for the TPUSA founder's death. Reached by phone, Shillman hung up as soon as this reporter asked him about his alleged statement announcing his termination of support for TPUSA.
Oh, moi?
Mm.
Mm. And it's just, yeah, and it's completely unrelated to him being killed. See, here's the thing that we know from the amount of time that we're doing this. The one thing, in fact, the only thing that these people care about is money, their bottom line, profits, shareholders, all that. That's all they care about. So there is definitely a connection between somebody costing somebody money and somebody getting dead, right? Like that is the ultimate motive for anything for these people. And it's all financial.
You make a deal with the devil will eventually come to collect.
Aye.
The Gray Zone also contacted AFA President Karen Siegmund.
You can't make this shit up, man. You cannot make this.
Again, this is why people are becoming extremely anti-Jewish. It's understandable, but this is the problem. By phone, and asked her about Shillman's alleged comments regarding Kirk during her organization's gala. The only part I remember is about his generosity to us. Of course, because why wouldn't you express another anti-Jewish stereotype by just claiming it's all about money? Why would you not make a statement like that? Why would it only be the only thing I care about with Mr. Shillman is that he gives us money? A seemingly irritated Siegmund commented before hanging up abruptly. Bill Whittle, a conservative pundit who emceed the September 6th event, told the Gray Zone he could neither confirm nor deny that Shillman had declared his intention to cut off funding to Kirk's organization.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Which means you're confirming.
Totally.
AFA has published several videos on its YouTube channel containing speeches from the gala, but Shillman's address is absent.
Interesting.
I wonder what he said at that event.
Could it have been something negative about Charlie Kirk, or that they have people that have been turning on them? Could it be something like not so flattering about them? I don't know.
And okay. So if you want to talk about somebody that I'm either going to get into on Saturday, or Jen and I will talk about on Monday as the next layer of this story, Andrew Colvett, the executive producer and spokesman for TPUSA, did not respond to a request for comment delivered by direct message to his Twitter X account, where he follows this reporter. Why is Andrew Colvett a significant cog in this story? Andrew Colvett is the person who actually made the public statement that Charlie Kirk's assassination prevented other people from dying because his neck stopped the bullet.
Oh, okay. This is Neck of Steel Man.
Yes. He's the one who put that out there. Andrew Colvett is actually one of the people who stands to benefit the most financially from Charlie Kirk's death.
Okay.
Remember,
then that's always good to remember. But do you know why there's no bullet behind Charlie? Because it came from the back, went through the front, went into the ground, and now it's been concreted over. That's why.
Nothing to
and
see
that's
there,
sort of time. They already poured concrete over the ground where that bullet would be.
Imagine where history would be today if the Zapruder film did not exist. We would have no way of disproving anything. We would say that there were pictures and the autopsy, this and that and the other thing, but they would still have the plausible deniability to say, well, this is what was told and this is what really happened. You watch the Zapruder film, and the magic bullet is now the magic neck.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mike Cernovich, a conservative activist and longtime ally of Kirk, may have been alluding to the breakup allegedly initiated by Shillman when he tweeted on September 13th 3 days after his death. Charlie was about to lose his last major donor because he refused to ban Tucker Carlson from events.
That's 3 days after his death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people shedding crocodile tears. The billionaires must be exposed for the cretins that they are. I have a lot of disagreements with Mike Cernovich, but he's right on this. Do we have anything else, Colin?
Oh, Irene's wanting to know, who did you say financially benefits from Charlie Kirk's death? Well, a lot of people, lot of people at this point, but he was going to cost people money. That's also the way to look at it. Like, who benefits in terms of career, who benefits in terms of whatever financial deals they get, and who cut off having Charlie Kirk being a liability for them where they would have lost money. Right. Like, which is essentially the same thing. So it's a variety of people, but generally the people that have the most to gain. And you're saying this is one of said people,
100%.
Is what you're saying.
Along
and his
with
name's Calvert, right?
Andrew Calvert, yes.
Andrew Calvert.
Along with the apparent rift between Shillman and Kirk, the gray zone has learned that Milikowski's U.S. allies intensified their campaign to manage the late TPUSA founder as his fateful first campus tour date approached. So they didn't even wait. They just waited until they could get him in a public setting, execute him, and put the word out that you all better get your asses in line. And several of them have, and we'll talk about that on Saturday. Shillman's apparent break with Kirk capped a months-long pressure campaign from Zionist bigwigs, media operatives, and Israeli Prime Minister Bitch Boy himself to bring the late conservative activist back into line with the self-proclaimed Jewish state's agenda. As the Gray Zone reported, citing one of Kirk's longtime friends, the TPUSA founder refused an offer by Netanyahu to arrange a new infusion of funding into his organization from his stable of Zionist millionaires and billionaires. It has been reported that the amount of money that was offered was as much as $150 million. The reporter also revealed that Kirk and pro-Israel billionaire Bill Ackman convened a secretive Hamptons retreat in August, where Kirk faced sustained cajoling and a bout of angry hectoring from Zionist attendees for his perceived disobedience. He was getting off the reservation. Can't have that.
Hectoring. What kind of word is that? You mean heckling? What are they saying? Hectoring. What the is that?
I don't know. Look in
that doesn't seem right.
As an attendee of the covert Hamptons gathering told the Gray Zone that each of the influencers on hand were invited to an all expenses paid propaganda tour of Israel, and several of them went. The trip took place later that August under the auspices of Newsmax, a right-wing outlet which now receives funding from the Israel Foreign Ministry, because of course it does. Hectoring means talking in a bullying way.
Okay, thank you. Talking in a bullying way.
Scroll down, Colin.
Hectoring.
Do we have anything left? Yes, that is a photo of a handful of the shilling commentators. One of them is Emily Saves America, and the other one is this dickhead. The black guy apparently is the one that was going around pretending like the aid that was going into Gaza is all right there, and talking about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, anything for money, right? Maybe some power too. Back at TPUSA, the mounting pressure from Zionist bigwigs left Kirk angry and perturbed in the weeks leading up to his death. The day after the Hampton summit, he publicly vented about Jewish stakeholders seeking to control his message. Among the demands Kirk received in his final days was to rescind an invitation to Tucker Carlson, an outspoken critic of Bibi, to deliver the keynote address at TP's upcoming America Fest. Kirk has not only resisted the demand, he invited the leading Republican critic of Israel in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, to appear at the event as well. The Gray Zone has since learned of a series of Zoom calls between Kirk and Zionist operatives seeking to wait till those come out. Wait till those calls surface, seeking to prevent him from going off message. The calls illustrate the mounting pressure the late conservative activist has been subjected to in the weeks before his death. One call held just 24 hours before his killing, including Josh Hammer, the guy he sat on stage with opposite of Dave Smith, a Newsweek editor-at-large who is a leading Israel lobbyist within the U.S. We were kind of talking him through talking points and strategy and how to deal with these expected hostile questions. Of course you were. Another participant in the recent Zoom call with Kirk, ultra-Zionist venture capitalist Sean McGuire. Oh, that fuckhead. And he's Irish. Fuck you even harder, Sean. Of Sequoia Capital, took to X to rebuke podcaster and former TPUSA comms director Candace Owens for her claim that Ackman had subjected Kirk to an unwanted lobbying over his shifting views on Israel.
See how they got all their little grifters in a row to come out on command with the same talking point? It's amazing.
I was in a 10-person chat with Bill Ackman and Charlie on this topic. We had a few Zooms over the last quarter talking about Israel, anti-Semitism, and how the West wins. Your story is off. No, it's not. How much more we got, Colin? This is a long one.
Yeah, we
close to the end? Keep going. No. I want to see how long it goes. Is that it?
No.
Okay. Sorry, we're almost done. Okay, I'll skim through it.
Yeah, let's do that. It's long.
Okay. Minutes after publishing his tweet, McGuire deleted it for unknown reasons. Of course he did. The Grays, Jen, how do people get fucking names like this? Pesach Wilicki,
Pesach is Passover.
Wilicki, a right-wing Israel-based rabbi who oversees Israel propaganda tours. Of course he does. For American youth, through his Israel 365 action organization, have positioned himself as Kirk's personal Zionist handler in the months leading up to his death.
Also, by the way, another tax refuge, right? Like that's what these things are. They're for money and brainwashing, but yeah.
The Gray Zone has obtained a private email from Wilicki's Israel 365 action to a conservative activist offering to junket them to Israel this October. Reaching out on behalf of the anti-woke movement, Israel 365 offered to take the activists on a delegation to explore more about Israel's biblical history. You mean it's fake history? Just as fake as the nation?
Oh, completely. It's all completely fake.
Let's scroll, Colin, please. Wilicki's board of advisors included Tila Felix Levy, heiress to the duty-free America.
Let me tell you something. That's the family down here, the big duty-free building where Jason's office is, right?
Right off I-95.
Right.
Yes.
So they are protested a lot. These people are a problem down here, like very locally down in South Florida in terms of the Zio tentacles. And duty-free America is definitely something to be boycotted at all costs.
Frank Gaffney, a prolific anti-Muslim activist, has been supported by Shulman, is also on the board. In a September 17th interview with Israel's ILTV, Wilicki said he was in touch with Charlie on an almost daily basis for months, leveraging his access to counteract Kirk's disagreements with Israel's policy. He sometimes believed things, like a lot of people do, that are out there in the media. And that was really the substance of our relationship, checking on things, finding out the truth. Wilicki complained that there were a lot of people around Kirk in the America First movement who were actively working to try to get him to turn on Israel. No, you did that yourself by committing mass murder on an incredible scale.
Well, what's interesting is how he's referred to as, I think it said an anti-Muslim activist or something, an anti-Muslim, however this guy was described. And I can't help but think, what would people think if it was an anti-Jewish activist? Like, would you, think of how brainwashed we are, where that was just the way that they thought to put that.
The one form of bigotry that is wholeheartedly sold and accepted in the United States is against Muslims.
Yes.
That's a fact. Anxiety was building within the Zionist movement about Kirk's upcoming campus tour in September. Man, they didn't even wait. They didn't even try to make it subtle, like wait for him to be on his third or fourth stop. They're like, no, we're going to get him on his first stop. As his first date approached at Utah Valley University, Walicki said that Kirk had ended up in a position where he was defending Israel all the time, and it drove him crazy because he wanted to talk about America. Well, imagine that. Somebody who's America first wanted to talk about America. And in conclusion, Walicki told the New York Post that Kirk was in a combative mood, wouldn't you be, during the final discussion just hours before his death. The rabbi said Kirk had agreed to join a WhatsApp group where he would apparently receive a constant stream of pro-Israel talking points through his campus tour. But the WhatsApp exchanges were never to be. Moments after his Utah Valley State event was underway, Kirk was killed by what appeared to be an assassin's single bullet.
Single bullet, one shot.
One shot, a kill shot that severed his spine and killed him within seconds.
From somewhere behind him to the right.
On September 17th, Milikowski released a video from a social media feed, a social media account of the Israeli Prime Minister's office, fervently denying that he played any role in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It was the second time he denied responsibility for the shooting since Kirk's death. You know, Jake Shields said it best. I didn't assassinate Charlie Kirk either, but I didn't need to make a video declaring that I didn't.
Exactly. And here's, when you're this guy, nobody believes a word that comes out of your mouth.